Good morning, children. It is time for your music appreciation lesson, and we are going to talk about the orchestra again today. Can you still remember what an orchestra is? It is a big group of people playing all sorts of different instruments, and you get 4 different sections of the orchestra: string instruments, woodwind instruments, brass instruments, and percussion instruments. So I'm going to play short little pieces of different instruments over the speaker, and then I would like you to try and see if you can guess which instrument it is. It will be the same ones that we learned about last week. So it could be either a violin, or it could be a clarinet, or a bassoon, or a flute, or an oboe. It could also be a French horn, or it could be timpani drums, which we said is not on this poster, but it is the big round timpani drums, and the nickname would be kettle drums, with the long sticks and balls that you play them with, the timpani drums. Okay, are you ready? Could you guess which instrument that was? So that was the violin. I hope you could hear that it was a string instrument, an instrument of string. So it was the violin. Remember, you also get the viola, which is the violin's big brother, that's slightly bigger and a bit lower in sound. And you get the cello, that's also the same with the strings, but it is even bigger and even lower in sound. And then you get the double bass, the same type of instrument, but much bigger and much lower sound. Okay, here comes the next one. Which instrument was that? That was the flute, the silver flute that I've played for you before. It looks like this long silver flute that you hold to the side. Okay, here comes the next one. Do you know which instrument that was? It was the clarinet. And as always, I remind you of Peter and the Wolf that we did right at the beginning of lockdown school. And the clarinet represented the character of the cat. So the clarinet is the long black one that you would hold in front of you. The flute you hold to the side, the clarinet in front of you. Okay, here comes the next one. Which instrument was that? That was the oboe. Okay, it looks very similar to the clarinet, but you can see it's a little bit thinner, and it has a long reed at the top. And the oboe in Peter and the Wolf represented the character of the duck. Okay, here comes another one. And could you guess that one? That was the bassoon. And the bassoon looks like this. It's a long wind instrument. In other words, an instrument that you blow air into to produce a sound. And in Peter and the Wolf, the bassoon represented the character of the grandfather. And here comes the next one. And Could you guess which instrument that was? It was the French horn of the brass section. The curly one, the French horn. Here comes the last one. And that was the timpani drums or the kettle drums. Okay, now we are going to listen to an ensemble piece. So this is not an orchestra playing with lots and lots of different instruments. This piece has only 3 different instruments. So we call it ensemble music, a smaller group of instruments. Okay, so it is called the Grand Fantasia, which is like a fantasy by Malcolm Arnold. He is the composer, so the person that wrote the music, Malcolm Arnold. And close your eyes, listen to the music, see where your imagination takes you, and then afterwards I would like you to guess which instruments you heard. So it will be 3 of the ones we heard just now, and it could also be a piano. So listen out for that. If you could maybe hear a piano and then 2 more instruments of the ones we just listened to. Here we go. Okay, so which instruments did you hear? So there were 3, right? So there was definitely a piano playing, and the other 2 instruments were wind instruments, and they were the silver flute and the clarinet, the long black one. So piano, flute and clarinet. Let's listen a little bit more and see if you can hear it now. Okay, I'm going to play you another ensemble piece. This time it is a duo, so meaning there are 2 instruments. Listen carefully and see if you can guess which 2 instruments are playing. Sound like? Did you hear a wind instrument? Or did you hear a string instrument perhaps? So this time no wind instruments, but there was 1 string instrument, which was the violin, and then also piano. So below here we have what we call the grand piano. The big pianos are called grand pianos, and the other ones like this one are upright pianos. So we had a piano and a violin, and a piano can be a string instrument or percussion, because inside the piano, if we lift up this lid, you will see there are strings and little hammers that strike against the strings. Therefore it can be a string or a percussion instrument. Let's listen to one more, and this time it is only 1 instrument. instrument. It was a wind instrument, and this time not part of the woodwinds but of the brass section, and it was the French horn. I'm going to play it a little bit more and then see if you can hear it now. So the beautiful French horn, and remember in Peter and the Wolf, the French horn represented the character of the wolf. Very good. Okay, so lastly for today, we are going to conduct a little bit. So remember, a conductor of an orchestra is the person that stands in front and he leads the whole orchestra. He normally has a little stick in his hand and it's called a baton. So I just have a pen here. You can use your hands or you can use a pen or a stick. And then we are going to conduct. So we are leading the orchestra and we have to stick to the beat so that everybody can play together at the same time. Okay, so we are going to play in 3/4 time. So what that means is that in music we get what we call time signatures. And one of the time signatures, there are many different ones, is called 3/4 time. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So 3/4 time in music would look like this. We've got a number 3 at the top and a number 4 at the bottom. And that means that we've got 3 quarter notes in a bar, 3 quarter note beats, or 3 beats in a bar. And the way we are going to practice conducting in 3/4 time is we're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And while we count like that, we are going to make a triangle in the air. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you see the triangle that I'm making? So down, side, up, down to the side and up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to listen to a piece called Moon River and then we're going to conduct in 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A nice big triangle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you want to conduct through the whole song, you can go and ask your mom and dad to look it up for you. It's called Moon River by Henry Mancini. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Have a lovely day further and then we'll have another lesson again next week.